Bethesda, one of the great titans of the gaming industry. I mean, listen, I'm at least old enough to remember Angry Jonald and his badass seal of approval in Skyrim.
Until then, I'll see you guys on the next Angry Joe Show!
Wait, hold on. Why was that aura? Chat, why was that aura? I mean, it doesn't get better than that. That might as well be the fucking Golden Globe or something. I don't actually really know what a Golden Globe is. I just remember that funny, round British guy calling fucking Keanu Reeves a pedophile or whatever. Anyways, what I'm trying to get to here is that the name Bethesda used to mean something. If a game was developed, or hell, even just published by Bethesda, you used to go, wow, I need that shit today. Okay, today, motherfucker. And there was a good reason for that. Bethesda made impeccable games. And listen, I know it's a very current thing of gamers to sit back on their PewDiePie recliner, lemon drop bomb dick pop vape in one hand and insulin shot in the other and go, well, Bethesda was always bad, Lamau. I mean, Skyrim doesn't even have ray tracing on Nazim's ballsack. I win, you're nitpicking and biased, bye-bye. And listen, this is just a really shit take, but I understand where it comes from. You see, much like the Fallout 4 intro, people have really awoken from the Bethesda dream. With the arrival of games like Fallout 4, Fallout 76, and the Elder Scrolls MMO instead of a new fucking game, which, side note, MMOs are fucking awful, by the way. I mean, name one person that has ever had a good time with an MMO. Does this guy look happy to you? Huh? No one likes this shit, okay? Anyways, the newest Bethesda product was Starfield, a game hyped to oblivion and back, and one I was actually personally excited for. Now, it's not as though Starfield is like the worst game of all time or anything. They already made that. It's just that there's something really missing here, and it's not any of the problems that people bring up. People can talk about how the story isn't that well written, or the combat is janky, or there's too much talking, or it's buggy, or it's long, or it's fucking whatever, but none of those are the issues. Yes, they are issues, but they are issues that exist in practically every single Bethesda classic. I mean, what about Morrowind precisely communicates a polished and totally non-janky game here? Totally bug-free, totally fine, nothing weird about it. No, these are problems that are practically endemic to the genetic code of Bethesda's games. Okay, and
you just let me know what you need. I am at your beck and call.
There you go.
Welcome to Bellathor's
give me those
General
fucking
Goods.
apples. Give me those.
What do you think you're doing?
Oh shit! One bounty. No witnesses. Oh shit! Wait, what? How do they know? Holy fuck! No! Shit! Die, motherfucker!
Who's there?
Oh god, this is getting out of hand. This is not good. This is absolutely not good. Jesus Christ, Serena, are you gonna fucking help, dude? The whole damn city on me. Just because I wanted to steal some fucking apples, man? You guys know that I'm the fucking Dragonborn? Alright, I think we got it under control, just as long as they don't— Is that guy fucking swimming? Is he swimming? Holy shit, how did they learn to do that? How is he swimming? How is he swimming? I don't know how to fight this enemy. This is like a new evolution of Stormcloak Soldier. Dude. Serana, help! Why are you sitting down?
Stand up.
But there is something missing here in Starfield, and interestingly enough, it's the world. Let me take you back. Try to remember your first time playing Skyrim. The sense of wonder you felt as you left that tutorial section in Helgen and looked upon the riverbed with those mountains in the distance. Tell me how you felt as you made your way to Riverwood and saw how the townsfolk lived and interacted with each other. Tell me how you felt as you slew your first dragon outside of Whiterun and the mystery that ensued as the legendary Greybeard sought you out. These are vague feelings, but they aren't actually tied to anything concrete about the game. I mean, go ahead, try to convey precisely what sets Skyrim apart, and I'll give you a hint. It's not lizard nipples. Is it the combat? Well, it's fun, but incredibly janky. I mean, the combat just kind of boils down to hitting something with the equivalent of a wooden stick until they badly ragdoll into the ground, most likely getting stuck on something and turning into an eldritch horror. So, no, it's not that. Is it the RPG experience? Well, you only really have a handful of dialogue options akin to an interdimensional traveler who can only communicate in short phrases provided by a third grader's interpretation of what's cool. Not to mention, most quests are entirely linear and the writing isn't exactly Citizen Kane, so no, not really that one either. It's not the graphics, it's not the progression, sure as fuck isn't the challenge. I mean, this game appears to have literally nothing going for it, and yet it's still just so beyond fucking incredible. What is it about Skyrim that intrigues you and me so? Well, the answer is obvious. It's the world. What makes Skyrim an unforgettable experience is the world that Bethesda has created here, and this goes for every game that Bethesda makes that is considered incredible. What is magical about Bethesda is the way that they create this world that you can get lost in. I mean, we have people to this fucking day in the year of our Lord Jonathan Ball-his-life Biden that are debating which side of the Stormcloak Rebellion is the right side, and what consequences precisely that has for the greater geopolitical landscape of Tamriel. I mean, holy shit, sir, this is a fucking Wendy's, alright, calm down. This is a series about shirtless crack addicts, not the fucking election. I mean, let's be real. Elder Scrolls enjoyers put more time into considering the geopolitical landscape of Tamriel than they do for Earth. I mean, how do you think these idiots keep getting elected? Let me tell you, if this shit was in Tamriel, the Morag tongue is getting to work. Alright, for legal reasons, that's a joke. FBI, CIA, ABC, 123, whoever the fuck, no one's getting assassinated, okay? But all I'm saying is that if Joe Biden existed in Skyrim, something like this probably would have happened to him. I mean, seriously, man? For what other game from fucking 2011 can someone make a video on and over 12 years later LARPing as a government surveyor and empirically measuring the unemployment rate in Whiterun? And then have that video only be just below his most popular video, which is following the natural paths of random rivers in the same game. That's right, 1.6 million views on a video just following the paths of rivers in Skyrim. What is magical about Skyrim and other Bethesda games of this time period is how complete and interconnected the world feels. You really truly do feel like an entity in a living and breathing world, with a rich culture, alien creatures, and languages and mysticism and incredible stories just waiting to be uncovered. You feel that way because that's the truth. That is the level of detail that has been put into these worlds. And the lore of these games is not just to serve as some backdrop for the epic mechanics, but is instead a focal point of the series, and so we get characters and stories that we love, such as Dagoth and the events of Morrowind, iconic locations and stunning sights such as Anywhere in Skyrim, and awesome guild questlines and world interconnectedness like we see in Oblivion. The world is alive and breathing, and most importantly, it's cohesive. I can walk from Riverwood to Whiterun and see the world for how it is, and if I look closely, I might just uncover some secret or hidden cave chock full of handcrafted, beautiful content. I might stumble upon some random room in Dragon's Reach, where otherwise mundane things happen, that has this majestic Daedric evil sword that drains the life of the innocent, and makes itself more powerful with each innocent person you slaughter. The design of the world is king in these games, and that is the magic. But then, there's Starfield. And throughout my honestly limited time playing the game, I just could not shake the feeling that there's something missing. I'm playing a Bethesda game. I recognize some of the hallmarks of a Bethesda game. Bro said, let me get straight back to work. Oh. That explains a lot. Rest in peace, brave soldier. But something here is missing, and for the longest time I couldn't put my finger on it. But after playing it a bit longer and thinking about it, I think I understand the issue. The world is just simply bland and uninspired, and more than anything, the biggest problem with Starfield is just how stretched thin everything is. Now listen, I'm a story enjoyer just like anyone else, but that isn't the real problem here. The problem is that the world itself that Starfield takes place in is literally spread across a galaxy. Now, functionally, this shouldn't necessarily make a difference, but unfortunately, the way that it's implemented in Starfield definitely does make a difference. Going anywhere in Starfield is like taking the magical cutscene ferry bus to whatever small and insignificant speck of world I get to explore. Every location outside of the major cities feels generic and like automatically generated, because that's literally what it is. It feels like exploring a plastic model of whatever the game is trying to convey to me. It's like, oh, look, there's this mysterious space station place on this moon in the galaxy. It could hold any number of secrets and crazy, wacky hijinks. No, I know exactly what it holds, and it's the same reskinned space pirate enemies I fought on the other fucking end of the galaxy, except this time they have a larger number over their foreheads, and I'm just gonna be exploring the same generic area, finding the same generic loot, and if I'm lucky, I might just get a quest line that says, hey, go take the magical cutscene ferry bus to this place, and talk for 30 minutes, and then take the magical cutscene ferry bus back to get your reward. I mean, it just feels so empty. Starfield is like the video game adaptive product of nihilism. Like, you really feel that life is fucking meaningless by hour 2 of playing this shit. And it's interesting to see the effect that the stretched world has on Bethesda's game design, because, as I said earlier, this game isn't functionally too dissimilar to some of the great Elder Scrolls games. You know that complaint I had about random copy-paste dungeons and reskinned enemies and generic quests that lead you on a useless goose chase? Well, these problems exist in both Skyrim and Starfield. But what's interesting, and the reason I made this video, is because these problems don't matter in Skyrim, because the world is that masterfully crafted. Because the culture and the lore and the environment of Skyrim is so rich, and the sound design is so crisp, and the world is so immersive, you know, you almost forget that the great turning point battle of the Civil War is fought by about 20 soldiers in total. 10 for each faction. This factor is missing from Starfield because nothing is connected. Everywhere you go, you have to go into this stupid ship cutscene, and since there's just so many meaningless places out in the galaxy, they all blend together and become the game design equivalent of like a resource node in a survival game. Going to explore a random planet or moon in Starfield is functionally identical to mining a vein of copper in Valheim. It's the same shit copy-pasted all over the world that serves only as a means to an end, to gear up and become more powerful. At least in survival games, such a mechanic makes sense and it's a small part of the overall appeal, whereas in Starfield, the sense of exploration and an interconnected world is just stomped into the ground, and you get to a point where you just want to beeline the main quest to get it over with. Listen, I'll just be straight up with you. I didn't complete Starfield. I played it, sure, but not even all the clips I use in this video are mine. I had to borrow some of them just because of how bored the game made me. It took what made Bethesda games bad, but forgot to include the key element that supersedes the clunkiness and made the early games so unforgettable: the beautiful, handcrafted, interconnected world. The difference is clear. Skyrim is a real world and a real place that happens to have stories and dungeons and dragons and guilds and weaponry and geopolitics and culture and all manner of things attached to it. Starfield, on the other hand, is akin to a menu. Select on the menu which pre-generated reused asset resource node you'd like to visit, and the cutscene will take you right there. Yes, there are beautiful handcrafted areas in Starfield, and even the gunplay is much improved from Bethesda's Fallout games. And I enjoy many of the ideas present here. But overall, the game of Starfield is far inferior to Bethesda's masterpieces of the past because it fails to see the forest for the trees. And let me tell you, a scattered collection of copy-pasted trees spread across a galaxy with a menu interconnecting them is not a forest. And so, as a gamer and a huge fan of Bethesda games, I can only hope that they learn their lesson here and stick to what works with Elder Scrolls 6. Or better yet, evolve their formula to fit with the times, with games like Elden Ring that showed that actually you can have a beautifully interconnected open world that tells a great story and has a great and complex gameplay system. It's time for Bethesda to step up to the plate. make a beautiful world like I know they can, and evolve in the department of gameplay and polish to break the mold. Bethesda doesn't need to be the company known for buggy and clunky games. They can return to their roots as innovators and storytellers, and I only hope that the past few releases have shown them that what they do just doesn't work anymore. And to have a successful game like Skyrim in a modern, dying AAA industry, just like Elden Ring and Baldur's Gate 3, you're gonna have to innovate where you think you can, and excel where you know you can. Anyways, that's about it, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to another one of my bullshit videos where I just ramble on autistically about some random topic. Hope to see you all again soon. Bye-bye.